Josephine, she was first in, top fan. Josephine Muscat there. Favorite teammate? Well, they're all my favorites. But the person I'm probably closest with at the football club would be Levi Greenwood. Spent a lot of time with Levi, so we're in business together outside the footy club, which is pretty cool. So I don't know if he's my favourite because I don't want to have a favourite, but he's certainly one of my best mates at the footy club. Am I going to be next captain? Adam McGuinness asks. Well, not this year, definitely not this year. And the way that Scott's going at the moment, I wouldn't have thought that he'll be hanging the boots up anytime soon. So I'll have to wait and see on that one. Cooper has asked, what am I doing on the off season? Well, technically this isn't the off season, Coop, but at the moment just going out, mate. Just trying to stay at home as much as possible. Done a little bit of study today, so I've been doing a bit of uni work. Got an assignment due in a couple of weeks, so I've been trying to tick that off. As I said, I've got a new puppy, he's keeping me really busy, chewing everything and weeing and pooing everywhere. So I'm occupied with him at the moment, but I'm doing a bit of training whilst I am doing a bit of training whilst I can, whilst I haven't been in complete lockdown. So that's good. One here from Luke Greco. I know he's a big Pies fan. He's just asked what's the best gym in Melbourne, and that would be 12 Round Fitness. Definitely the best gym in Melbourne, followed closely by 12 Round Fitness Port Melbourne. Keeping fit. So someone's asked me here, how am I keeping fit? I'm lucky that my brother, who's a couple of years younger than me, so we're able to go for runs and kicks together. So I've been doing a fair bit of training. I've actually jumped on Strava. If anyone knows what Strava is, I've jumped on Strava over the last couple of days to track all my training. So if you want to jump on there, just search my name and you'll be able to follow me and follow what I'm doing in terms of health and fitness. But for me at the moment, it's just getting up nice and early. I think it was me and Reed, my little brother, at the Albert Park Lake today at about 6:45 a.m. So we try to train nice and early and then have the whole day to ourselves to do whatever. Good to see you online. Oh, thank you. How is the best kick at the club? Is that a question or a statement? No, it's meant to say who. Who is the best kick at the club? Well, Jeremy Howe's up there. You asked him, he'd probably say himself. I would probably say Hills or Steele. Braden Maynard's a good kick. There's quite a few. Which opposition play is the hardest to match up on? Probably going off last year's form, I'd probably say Patrick Cripps or Marcus Bonson. But there's quite a number of very good midfielders in the competition at the moment. So Nat Fyfe, obviously, when he played him once last year, but he's an exceptionally good player. The washing here, yeah. The washing's in soon. I'm just going to roll on and see if I can see how this works. This is actually my first Facebook Live, guys, so thanks for being here with me. I'll try to get to as many of these as I can. Thoughts on Howie's hair? That's very funny. Yeah, I've only seen a little picture of it, but I look forward to seeing him in person. I'm sure it'll suit him. He looks good no matter what he does with his hair, Jeremy. So, Isaac Hedger. G'day, Isaac. Yes, you would have did a good job. What else we got? Footy ground. Favorite footy ground to play on? Charlie from Charlie Popowski. Charlie, my favorite ground is the mighty MCG. We're pretty lucky we get to play there a lot. We play there over 10 times a year, and then plus 5. So that's definitely my favorite play on. Interstate, I like Adelaide Oval. I love going to Adelaide. A little quieter than a Melbourne or a Sydney. Nice and close to a 45, 50-minute flight. Stay across the ground and we can actually walk to the oval from where we stay, which is pretty cool. My dog is chewing my curtains. Yeah, so I love Adelaide Oval. What else we got here? Does your missus know you're wearing her jumper? Not bad, Jack. Not bad, Jack. Very funny. This is a Nike sportswear jumper for those who were asking me earlier. Very good, comfortable jumper. This is like their new range, so get into that. Really cool. Here you go. I saw something about Jay Rantel here. Jay Rantel, can you please say hello to Daniel? How is Jay Rantel going? Jay Rantel is going really well. He started the preseason really well, winning our 2K time trial. He's been really close and was really close to playing against the Western Bulldogs in round one. Just missed out. Really great kid, Jay. I can really see him playing 200 games for the Collingwood Footy Club. So we're lucky that he was able to get us through to pick 35 draft this year. So that was great. Best player yet to get a game. Well, I probably would have said Tyler Brown before round one, Gus, but Ty's played now. He had an exceptional preseason and certainly earned his spot. Played a lot of good VFL footy last year, and it was great to see the two Brown brothers or sisters, whichever way you want to put it, team up during on Eddie had in round one. So that was cool. Just scrolling through. Get Swanee over for a bit of isolation. No thanks, Sean. One of our new recruits has impressed you, probably Jay, but all of our draftees have been really good. So Jay Rantel, Trey Rusco, and Little Liquor, Trent Bianco. He's been awesome as well. I can see all those guys playing some sort of role for the footy club over the next couple of years. And then Dunn, who we got in via a trade from Sydney, he's been awesome. Really close to playing round one. So he's had a great preseason, played really well in our March Community Series. So that was cool. He's going to be a good player. All right. Terence O'Donnell's asked how Anzac Day games feel. Question. Anzac Day is certainly probably the biggest game outside of the finals calendar. So we're pretty lucky to be able to play in that standalone game against Essendon. I remember my first one was a real surreal moment. Running out there to crazy amounts of noise, and then obviously standing there for the ceremonies as they did the last post, and the minute silence was amazing to have 95,000 people in the MCG completely silent. So that was really cool. Certainly the best game outside of a final, and to play against another really great and powerful club in Essendon is pretty cool. Does Bucks ever give a massive spray? No, I've seen Bucks give one spray since being at Collingwood, and they're very few and far between. Over the last couple of years, I'd probably say he hasn't had to give many players a spray because we've been going okay. No, he's very calm coach, and he's very measured in the way that he coaches. So that's good. I think that's probably the modern day coach. Most Australian coaches would be like that. They're flying in here. How am I going to get this? PS4 handle, don't play, don't own one. Favorite beach? I grew up in Gareth Plowman. I think I know that name. I grew up in Torquay, so that's a favorite beach to go to. Up here, probably down Hampton Way in Melbourne. Biggest pest at the club. Ben Crocker's gone, but he's still the biggest pest at the club. Still calls and texts and FaceTimes, and took him about 3 months after getting the sack for him to actually leave the club. So that was quite funny. But biggest pest now, probably his mate Jordan DeGoey. Josh Dacos, thoughts? Josh Dacos, he's going to be a very good player. I thought he played his best game for the footy club in round one against the Dogs. He probably didn't have as much of the footy early, but the work that he did off the ball and the stuff that gets recognised by the coaches and by his teammates was great. So Josh has come a long way in the last 12 months, and I can see him playing all games this year and being a really strong contributor for us. Which individual has a breakthrough season this year? Look, there's a number of guys. I think Isaac Quainer had a great preseason. Obviously, Tyler Brown now, Callum Brown, Josh Dacos is another one that springs to mind. They're probably the 4 or 5 guys off the top of my head that I can think of. I'm just scrolling down. Just going to go random. Favorite NBA team, Golden State Warriors fan. I'm just going to keep scrolling, guys. What sport would you play if not AFL? I'd probably play basketball. I just like watching the NBA. So that's always good. Can you guys see where I'm scrolling? I don't even know if you can answer that. I hope the season gets going as well. Will you go into coaching after playing career is done? That's a good question. Peter Good. That was Peter Good? No, it wasn't. Went really fast. Maybe. Undecided yet. I love being around footy clubs. So I'll definitely, I reckon before I finish my playing career, I'll definitely do some coaching courses to see how much I like it. I love the aspect of development coaching and helping younger players. So that's cool. Yeah, there's a question I got asked today on the radio. I just saw it just went down the list, but it said Bucks or Pendles, and my answer was couldn't split them. I'd probably say Pendles because I've obviously seen a lot more of him play. I was a bit young when Bucks was in his prime, but then my old man would probably almost say Bucks. So it depends, I guess, what era you grew up watching. But we're both we're pretty lucky to have both of them at the footy club. Obviously, superstar players for our footy club, and the thing about Pendles is he's not done yet. So hopefully he can be a premiership captain some stage in his career. So that'd be pretty cool. Where do we find improvement to win the flag? Yeah, that's a good question. I think the top end talent at the footy club's pretty consistent and has been for a while. You know, Pendle, Steele, Brody now, Darcy, Howie, Adzi. Those guys are going to continue to improve, but I think our real improvement comes from the guys like Tyler Brown, Callum Brown, Josh Dacos, Darcy Cameron. These guys that have come in. I think we've done a fair bit of work on our centre bounce this year, so hopefully we can make good use of that. Obviously, the best ruckman in the comp with Big Broads in there, so it'd be nice to be able to score from those, which is a really important stat now, especially with that the 6v6v6. So that's probably one of the main things we focused on over the preseason. What club did I follow as a kid? I was Geelong supporter. Lee, grew up in Geelong. Didn't really have a choice, mate. What did it feel like to play in an empty stadium? Yeah, it was really weird. That's a question from Cooper. It was really strange, Cooper. It was comparing it to having 45, 50,000 that Eddie had with the roof closed. We had 0 fans there with the roof open. So the atmosphere was certainly wasn't anywhere near as good. I think fans make the game. So although it was really nice to get out there and play, it was really surreal. Didn't feel the same, to be honest, after the game. You know, we like to celebrate with our fans and the people that give back to the footy club. So it kind of didn't feel like a real season match, but I think the way the guys handled it, both sides was a really, really positive thing. And the whole weekend of having even though it was only one weekend, to have one game played, to have all games played just for the one weekend was a really good thing for, I think, society in general, something for people to look forward to. So I know us as players really enjoyed it, and the coaches really enjoyed getting out there and playing. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing it. State in Australia to travel, probably up to northern Queensland. Someone's asked there. Who do you miss the most in the team? Oh, that's a great question. I miss a lot of the boys. I miss all the boys actually, and a lot of the coaches and support staff. There's so many people that go into making a club. You guys obviously see the 22 players and the that run out on the weekend and the guys that unfortunately don't get games week to week. But there's probably just as many coaches and support staff. So physios, doctors, massage therapists, strength conditioning trainers. We've got analysts, people that watch a million minutes of tape a week, coaches, chefs, dietitians. So we've got obviously the whole kit and caboodle at the footy club, and miss seeing everyone at the footy club. It's weird being isolated away from the people that you spend so much time with. Obviously, we spend we probably spend 45 hours a week with each other. So that's a bit sad, but no doubt we'll be back sooner rather than later. And in the meantime, we'll just have to keep up the house parties and the FaceTiming. Golf handicap, way too many, man. I'm not even going to say. Are you the angriest man at the club? Well, you guys might see that. I think I've got a little bit of white line fever, Joseph. Something that I'm trying to work on to be a little bit more calm on the footy field. But yeah, that's a funny question. Best golfer at the footy club, Josephine. Probably Jeremy Howe now. Adam Oxley used to be the best golfer. Howie would probably dispute that, but Howie plays off about 5. Where am I going? Toughest opponent you've ever played on? Oh, I reckon the toughest opponent I've ever played on, probably Gary Ablett when he was at the Gold Coast Suns. Played him a few times when I was at the Giants, and then also when I was at Collingwood, and he's an out-and-out star. The fact that he's still going around at 34 years old and was almost All-Australian last year was pretty cool. Jake Bozanovsky. I've answered that one, mate. Yeah, play a little bit. Not very good, though. Need some work on my golf game. Will Langdon return? He's certainly making some inroads, Zach. He's done a power of work to get his body in a position to hopefully play at some stage of this year. From where he was 2 or 3 months ago, I think he's taken some really, really big steps in, towards playing footy again. So, I hope to see him back out there sooner rather than later. Everyone sort of forgets how good he was. Remember him in the 2018 grand final. He was almost our best player. So, we'd love to have him back. How are you keeping yourself entertained? I was saying before, Wendy, before maybe you jumped on. I've got a puppy at the moment. I've got 2 dogs, 2 golden retrievers. Got one next to me. His name's Albie. And then my puppy is somewhere inside, I think. Don't know where he is. Running around, probably weeing and pooing everywhere. So he's keeping me busy. Is Grundy the biggest prankster at the club? Lee Makers asked that. Probably not. We'd probably go to DeGoey. Geordie DeGoey's probably one of the biggest pranksters. I'm trying to think who else plays jokes. Ben Crocker was. Braden Maynard's a bit of a reptile when it comes to that sort of stuff. So, probably Geordie. Jessica Carroll has asked greatest memory of playing AFL. Probably the 2018 final series. All bar the last 2 minutes of the grand final was the highlight of my career so far. Not that I haven't enjoyed any moment being at Collingwood. I've absolutely loved being at Collingwood. So it's been some ups and downs, but a learning curve nonetheless. Thoughts on the best of the 3 grand final series? Nah, not for me, Xavier. I like the structure we've got now. Just play one game. What music do I listen to? Well, we actually had the Gang of Youths. They're a band that came into the footy club not long ago, and they are one of my favourite bands. I was a full-blown nuffy. I got a Gang of Youths t-shirt signed by the band, which is pretty cool. So big fan of those guys. Is Mason ready to go up a level? Well, in terms of his height, I hope not, because then he won't be able to fit inside Eddie had. But he's had a great preseason again. I think we've seen some big inroads from Mace over the last 6 months. So I'm looking forward to getting him back out in the park. Do Do you think inside mids are more important than outside mids? Don't say they're equally as important. No. Well, there's actually no such thing as an inside and outside mid anymore, if you ask me. All midfielders have to be able to play inside and outside. Obviously, some guys win more contested footy than others, but most guys, like you look at Tom Phillips, and you guys would probably rate him as an outside midfielder just because he starts in the wing. But over the preseason, we've seen him play a lot through the midfield as an inside mid. In in centre bounces, and so I think that you have to be able to win footy on the inside and on the outside. Tanya Gurney has asked about John Noble. Seems like a ripper of a guy. Amazing to think he wasn't on an AFL list. How has his impact been? Yeah, amazing story, Nobes. Identical twin. There's actually a funny story that I will tell you after I finish giving him a big wrap up. He's been unreal. He actually lived with me for a little bit, Nobes, and just a great person. He's had a great impact at the footy club. He's just I think the thing that stands out the most about him is his appreciation for getting the opportunity. So hopefully we can see him back out in the park soon. There's a funny story about Jack Crispin and John Noble. I said he's got an identical twin. After one of our games last year, John's brother was in our change rooms. I can't remember his name, and they look exactly the same as identical twins usually do. And Jack went up to him and said, "Oh, Nobes, why'd you get changed out of your Collingwood kit so quick?" And he goes, "Oh, yeah, no, that's funny, Jack." And just sort of laughed it off. We walked over to the club after a game to do recovery, and his brother was sitting in the kitchen. And Crispy's like, "Nobes, I thought I told you to put your clothes back on." And he had no idea that he was actually talking to his twin. So shout out to Crispy. Hopefully he's watching. Pretty hard living down Geelong way, not praying for Geelong. Go Pies, yes, I agree. Deanna, how are you personally keeping fit? Follow me on Strava, Drew. I'm on Strava. Just search my name and it will come up. Play with the biggest lip. I'm not sure. The one that talks the most on our team is Chris Main, and that's not in a negative way. He just talks. It was so funny. He actually commentated the game 2 Friday nights ago against the Dogs. Usually you can't hear him because of the crowd, but you could hear every word that he was saying, and how he actually told him to shut up at one stage because he was just being so annoying. So, best ledger, yeah, not sure. Who do you think will cope the worst in isolation? Probably Braden Maynard. He'll struggle. He'll get bored real easy. Which loss hurts more, 2018 granny or the 2019 prelim? They both hurt a lot. Probably the grand final to be so close to winning it. That was pretty cool. That whole month was pretty cool. So it's unfortunate. Both are unfortunate. When is Lennon done getting a game? Well, Dunny's now elevated to the list, senior list. He can play, and he's flying around the track at the moment. So, or he was. So yeah, hopefully we see Dunny back out there really soon. He's put in a huge amount of work. So make sure you guys get around him, and support him when he gets back playing because he's done the hard yards. Most influenced by at the club. Well, I work really closely with Robert Harvey. He's our midfield coach, and also Gary Hocking Buddha. So got great relationships with those two guys. So, but there's influences everywhere at our footy club. We're pretty lucky. Got senior players as well. Pendle Steele, Ben Reid. A lot of these guys have played in premierships, so we're really lucky to have some great leadership there. What is my puppy's name? His name is Charles. Don't know where he is. Can't see him. Have you been watching the Pies replays? No, I haven't, Drew. I haven't watched any footy since the competition was put on hold. I do miss it though. I'm sure you guys miss it a lot, but I really do miss being at the footy club and playing. Oh, here he is. Here's my puppy. Charles. Say hi. Say hi. He's 9 weeks old. Very cute. Will Brodie Grundy help us to a grand final? Well, he's already done that 2 years ago. He got us there. Um, did you manage to pinch enough weights from the gym to take home before lockdown? Yeah, Rod. It was. We actually didn't get a chance to go back into the club after after the AFL was locked down. So that Sunday afternoon when we got the news from Gil McLaughlin, unfortunately none of the boys could go back into the club. So we had our strength conditioning and welfare manager come around and drop all the weights off. So we're all set up pretty well, which is good. Who was the quickest player at the team? Jaden Stevenson, Tyler Brown, or Callum Brown, the quickest, or Isaac Quainer, probably 4. Jaden's lightning quick. What else we got? Just got a message here. How would you feel about a Christmas granny this year? Well, if we won it, I would feel very positive about it, Stella. Be really weird. Really weird though playing through December, but I'm willing to play for as long as we need to. I miss the game. I'm happy. I'm happy playing. I'll play 3 games a year if I have to. Bucks used to be Ed's favorite player. Who does Ed love now? Pendles is probably the obvious one. Probably Pendles or Steele. Probably got soft spot for Ed. All right, guys, we've got five or so minutes left. Get under. Just scrolling through. Do you reckon Jeremy Cameron is any chance of coming to the Pies? Well, unless we've got $2 million in the salary cap, I wouldn't have thought so. He's a very, very good player. How's Levi going? Yeah, Levi's flying, Gary. He'll be very pleased you asked about him. He is going really well. In fact, he's rehab like a true professional. He's certainly well and truly ahead of where most people are expected to be after doing an ACL injury. So going really well. This little hiatus probably means that he might be right to go on the other side of it. So sometimes there's a little bit of silver lining in some really bad situations. So it's hopefully he's back as we come back to play. What's the biggest advantage in being able to play and train at the biggest AFL team compared to rising team, the Giants? I think it was probably just resources, and by that I mean probably experienced players. We had a lot of experienced players when I first walked into the club at Collingwood, so I was able to learn a lot off them, and just the fact that we have the best supporter base in the land. Obviously, we have 80,000, 85,000 members, which is amazing, and we get to play in front of really big crowds. So that's always a great thing about our footy club. Our fans are certainly what make Collingwood, and we're really lucky as players to have such support. If you could bring any player from another team across the Collingwood, who would you bring and why? Oh, probably Jeremy Cameron. I played with him at the Giants, and he's a super player, super player. My 11-year-old son, Caden, is watching and wants to know what your favourite song is to pump you up for a game. Well, we actually have a bit of a theme song at the club that we all warm up to, and you guys might have seen us do it. It's the Conor McGregor walkout song, so the Biggie Smalls. That's the pump up song, whatever is it called, Juicy, but a bit of a remake with the Irish anthem in there, so that's pretty cool. Just scrolling here. Looking for it. Jordy Goey's 1 and my check on best forward. Last couple here, guys. Matty Schoenberg, he's training really well. Had a great preseason. Just probably edged out by a couple of really good players. He's fighting for a position with Howie, Darcy Moore, and Jordan Rufford. So it makes it really hard. But if someone was to get injured, touch wood, they don't. We'd be very confident calling on Shaz. He's a great player. All right, last one. I'm going to find a really good one. Done well. Just the Tom Morris there. All right, let me find one. I don't follow EPL, for those asking. I'm going to finish off with Tim Broomhead. So Tim Broomhead's going really well. Coming off some horrific injuries, but he was cleared to play just before round 1. So he's got to do a couple of weeks of training. He had done a couple of weeks of training and now he's right to play. So we'll see him playing some sort of footy when we get back from this break. So yeah, that's a good story. Tim's done a lot of work. It's very similar to Dunny. He's had some really bad luck, so it'd be nice to see him back out there. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. I've got to feed these little pups and then feed myself. So thanks so much for tuning in. Stay safe. Obviously, a really crappy time at the moment, but be really positive. Thanks for all your support at the footy club. We know how lucky we are. So thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.